VLR.
If spending money like water was the answer to our country's problems, we would have no problems now.
This is the Modern Comment Show, Take 2. With your host, Amy Curtis, here on Vigilant Liberty Radio. You can start talking now, Amy. She is talking and we're not hearing anything, and I think I know why we're not hearing anything.
This is the Modern
Now
Comment.
we are. There we go.
It helps if I hit the unmute button. I apologize for that.
Yes, it does. Don't freak me out there.
I'm sorry, Taylor. Let's do take 3. This is Amy Curtis. Welcome to the Modern Comments Radio Show here on Vigilant Liberty Radio. I am obviously your host, and joining me this evening, we have a special guest, Amanda McAllister, who you can catch here on Monday evenings for The Edge of Anarchy. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Amy?
Now that everything is working and I remembered to unmute myself, I'm peachy. So
Awesome.
Let's get this show on the road. But before we do that, also joining me again, of course, is Dave, who you can find on Twitter at Charnita53219. If you don't know how to spell it, go to my bio, because even I can't spell it, and I'm his wife. So how are you, Dave?
She can't spell anyways.
No, some days I can't spell. So how are you this evening, Dave?
I'm here.
Good. And last but certainly not least, my producer, Taylor, who you can find on Twitter at EYE Desert Blog.
No, you can't.
How are you, Taylor?
You can't find me at EYE Desert Blog anymore.
Did you change it?
I changed it.
You changed
You
it.
changed it?
I changed it.
Oh, good. What did you change
You
it to?
can now find me at Taylor M VLR. That's at Taylor M VLR.
Okay, well now we've changed it. When did you change that? Because I must have been out of the loop last week.
Yesterday.
Okay.
You were tagged in a conversation with me earlier today, and you didn't even notice.
No, I didn't. My day has been kind of busy and involving medication, so you have to forgive me because right now I'm just glad that I'm awake and upright. So
well, there you go.
Pounding coffee.
Anyway,
so
we know what happened, why we had technical difficulties when I decided that I was going to plug my camera in so that everybody could, see each other, because Amy and Amanda have their cameras plugged in. It decided to throw everything awry. So that's what happened. So basically, it just proves what we know. I have a face for radio.
Aww.
you do not have
You're a handsome man.
You do not have a face for radio. You are very, very handsome. Your computer just doesn't like your camera. So we can blame...
My computer just doesn't like me.
Well, sometimes I feel that way about
I'm not going to argue with that. Your computer does give you a lot of hard times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of does. And if you are listening in and want to join into the conversation, you can go to vigilantliberatyradio.us/chat. Type in a username and a password and join us in the chat room. Or you can send me a tweet at Modern Comments, because I'm apparently the only one in the conversation who hasn't changed her Twitter handle.
Well, you don't need to.
No, I don't need to, but...
Dave does.
Dave does, because even I can't spell his. You can send me a tweet, and I will work your show into the comment. And yes, somebody in my mentions, Brian, said, mute is a biatch sometimes. Yes, it is.
Your show into the comment?
Work the comment into the show. Thank you for catching that. There we go. We're on track. Everything is good. We just got off to a little bit of a rocky start. So I want to start this evening. We were talking about this.
Can I do breaking news really quickly?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, we do have breaking news. And our thoughts and prayers are with CBS News after Reporter Bob Simon was killed in a car crash in New York City tonight.
Oh, no.
He's a longtime 60 Minutes correspondent and CBS News foreign reporter. He was 73 years old. Our thoughts and prayers are with CBS and the entire CBS family after what happened there.
Oh, that's awful. I'm very, very sorry to hear that. I did not catch that going across my feed. That's sad. Yeah, rest in peace. I haven't watched 60 Minutes in a while, but I do know who he is. And that's always hard when something like that happens. So, all right. Well, we'll get that show off on a very, very depressing note. Yeah. So rest in peace, Bob Simon. And we were talking off air before the show, and then while we were Taylor was fixing what was going on. Before Dave and I went on air, we were actually looking rather seriously at houses in suburbs around Milwaukee, because yesterday the Milwaukee Common Council okayed a plan, a $124 million plan for the streetcar here in Milwaukee. And I've been on the air with this before. I am an opponent of the streetcar project. It is a waste of our money. It is a waste of our time. It will mess up parking in downtown Milwaukee. It will interfere with traffic routes. There is a more effective way to improve transportation in the city that will not cost us $124 million. And the story that I'm reading, which I'll put up in the chat room, which is from local Fox affiliate Fox 6, says supporters of the project are already looking to expand this project. And if they get to expand it to where they want to, and those of you that aren't familiar with Milwaukee, downtown is kind of northeast of where I live. And there are, like in most cities, different regions of the city. There's the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee campus to kind of the north of downtown. To the west of downtown is the Marquette University campus. And then south of downtown is an area of the city called Bronzeville. Supporters are already talking about expanding this streetcar to go to all of those areas in a plan that could cost upwards of $1 billion. $1 billion with a B dollars for a fixed track streetcar in 2014 Milwaukee. And this has been an obsession of the mayor's for a long time. And now it seems like he's going to get at least part of his way, because the referendum petitions that are going around to put this project to a binding referendum vote, they're not due until the 3rd, and they have about half of the 31,000 signatures they need. And right now, I'm pretty pessimistic that the government is going to acknowledge those signatures or allow it to go to a binding referendum. It passed the Common Council 9-6. We have until March 3rd to get those signatures in. And if you're listening and you are in the Wisconsin area or know people who are in the Wisconsin area, you do not have to be a citizen of the city of Milwaukee to circulate a petition. It has to be signed only by residents of the city. But if you live in Greenfield, Greendale, Brookfield, Whitefish Bay, anywhere in the area, and you want to stop this, come and get a blank petition. There are several locations in the city that are handing them out, and go and collect signatures, because you will have to bail the city of Milwaukee out for this. And you can say, no, that's not going to happen, but you will. And if you are a taxpayer in the city of Milwaukee and you think your property taxes are too high now, wait until you have to start paying for the maintenance and upkeep of this streetcar that nobody is going to ride and nobody is going to use.
And when we talk about all over the place, we are talking all over the place. In the southwest side, quiet residential area, we're talking the inner city. A lot of people in the central city are opposed to this program because it will not benefit them. This is around for downtown.
Yes, downtown and the east side, where very moneyed, and I'm not going to get too deep into the race card, but mostly white, rich yuppie liberals live. Let's just be blunt with this. This is an area that is deeply blue, and this streetcar is going to serve them. It is not going to serve the people living on the north side in those neighborhoods where they need the jobs and they need the transportation to get to the jobs. It's not. And go ahead, Amanda.
Is this like a latte liberal hipster elitist thing? Because I'm looking at the street grid, and it doesn't look like you guys need a streetcar.
No, we don't need a streetcar. And the thing is, over the past 40 years, and we've talked about this too, They've taken out rail tracks and turned it into bike paths for, again, the leftist hipsters. And I like bike paths, don't get me wrong, but now they're going to spend all this money to put back what they had in place before, which they took out because that was an outmoded form of transportation. Yeah, Amanda, I can see Amanda on video. She's got video, and it looks like her head's going to explode. Imagine living here. What? Imagine living here and seeing, since I was a kid, them ripping out these rail right-of-ways and replacing them with bike paths, which are lovely. The bike paths are lovely. Fine. But now you're going to go back and you're going to put a fixed rail system that basically runs in a loop through downtown Milwaukee and say it's going to be paid for by businesses in a TIF district along that route, and it's somehow the math is going to work. You look at Cleveland, you look at Minneapolis, you look at any other urban area that has tried to build a streetcar the way we are, and they have all been disasters. And I'm telling you right now, there were 9 members of the Common Council, and I have the list up and I closed out the browser, so I'll have to find it again. 9 of them voted for this. Every single one of those Common Council members should be run against in the next election, and all of them should be voted out of office. And if my representative did it, I think he's up for election in 17.
Dujic?
If he voted for this, I'm going to find somebody to run against him. If nobody wants to, I will. And I will run against him solely on the platform of defeating the streetcar and stopping this project in its tracks. It is a waste of our time. It is a waste of our money. The city of Milwaukee does not need a streetcar. We could have used this money for buses, which can get more places more efficiently. We could have used this money for anything. Or here's a radical idea. Because this all started because the Fed said they would give us money. Why do we need to spend this federal money at all? Why is it when politicians get money, it burns a hole in their pocket and they feel like they have to spend and have to spend and have to spend? And not only do they have to spend, they're going to outspend that money that the feds gave us because this money is quote unquote, radio quotes, free. It's not free. It is going to be an economic burden on the city of Milwaukee for the rest of my life, for the rest of my children's lives, for the rest of my grandchildren's lives, and beyond. And I am absolutely serious. I have the Shore West window open on my browser right now, and we are looking at properties in neighboring communities so we can get the heck out of Milwaukee before our property values drop, because nobody's going to want to live here because they're not going to want to pay the taxes for the street car.
Although it's feeling that we're going to find
Can I interject here?
Yes, you may interject because I'm going to drink some coffee and try and lower my blood pressure.
If you are going to run in your series about that, may I suggest you be more than just a one-issue candidate?
Oh, no, there are other issues in the city that definitely need to be addressed, but this will like the big issue.
I will make a trip up there, and I will walk the streets with you, and I will come up with a way cheaper solution to fix your transportation problems than a streetcar. I mean that. I will make a special trip to Milwaukee, I will get in my car, and I will use my city planning expertise and help you win.
Yeah, because one of the proposals was there is an abandoned rail line that goes from the north side, where a lot of the African American community lives, to downtown. The rails are still there. Modifying that to put a rail car, which would bring people downtown instead of in a loop, would be a plan that I might consider if the financial aspect of it worked, if they are so hard-pressed on having this stupid train. But they're not going to do that. They have basically said to the people living on the north side of the city, forget you. We're going to let our mayor have his little train downtown where it can run around in circles and nobody is ever going to ride it. It'll get in the way of traffic. It will. If an emergency vehicle has to be pulled on the side of the road on the tracks, that train is going to have to sit there until that emergency vehicle can be moved. There are going to be issues with parking because the original plan ran by the building that I used to work in downtown, and it would run along the sidewalk. You know, it was along that sidewalk? All of the handicap parking for the building. So all of those handicap parking spaces will have to be gone because the rail line will be there. They are going to have to relocate the utilities, the We Energies, the phone lines, and that's going to cost even more money. I can bet you, and it's a sure bet, so I wouldn't even bet you because I'm going to be right. A year from now, we're going to get stories about how this project is not going to be done on time and it's going to be massively over budget. And we're going to have those stories year after year after year. And you know what? The local media has been so complicit in not reporting largely on what's been going on in other cities to let the people of Milwaukee know that this is going to be a mistake.